Soulbound. That sounds familiar, right? Well, we know World of Warcraft gamers. You definitely agree. No, we won't be completing quests or raiding dungeons in this video. However, we're gonna explore something just as exciting, Soulbound tokens, or SBTs, which were indeed inspired by elements in World of Warcraft. So, what are they and what makes them interesting? Well, let's find out. At its core, a Soulbound token is an NFT. Not your typical NFT though. See, a pudgy penguin or a bored ape can be traded by their owners as they please. However, as envisioned by Vitalik Buterin, a Soulbound token is non-transferable. They aim to evolve NFTs beyond something just for wealth signaling or bragging rights. These non-transferable tokens could potentially be used to represent any type of information specific to a person or entity. This could be your CV, your academic achievements, or even your work history, you name it. The wallets that hold or issue these records are known as souls. So, say you graduate, you can hold your certificate on your credential soul and your health history from your hospital on your medical soul, and so on. Since all this information will be on the blockchain, people will be able to build a verifiable digital reputation based on past experiences through souls and wallets. This raises the question, how will SBTs work in Web3? SBTs aim to tackle one of the biggest challenges in the Web3 industry today, trust. The industry was designed to be trustless in the first place, right? But this imposes some limitations on Web3 systems. Let's use lending money as an example. Currently, most lending platforms can work without trust as they require over-collateralization, where users have to deposit more funds than they are borrowing. But this further limits capital efficiency and makes use cases such as under-collateralized loans tricky. But what if there was a way to track additional metrics aside from a user's DeFi credit history that can help determine their risk profile? This is where SBTs, representing users' credentials, come into play. They open up a way of using reputation as collateral to get under-collateralized loans in DeFi. Apart from revolutionizing the lending space, SBTs can also provide an alternative for decentralized autonomous organization, or DAO, voting. Today, most DAO governance models assign voting power based on the number of tokens held by a member. Integrating SBTs into governance could help create a model that prioritizes voting power for the most dedicated users with a strong reputation and commitment to the project. SBTs could transform DAO voting into more human-centric models rather than token holder-centric ones, which are plutocratic and favor the wealthy. This will not only improve users' interaction with the project and community, but also the integrity of DAO voting by defending it against whales who hold a large number of tokens. Or Sybil attacks, whereby an individual or a group of bad actors can create multiple wallets and identities in order to gain voting power to redirect the project's direction in their favor. With these unique advantages, however, SBTs have some disadvantages that are worth noting. For one, there are debates about how SBT-based credit systems could lead to dystopian scenarios by providing a way of targeting and discriminating against members of specific communities. Not to mention, it could bring up some troubling privacy issues. For example, holders of a specific SBT could be denied entrance to facilities, medical care, travel permits, or even have their voting rights revoked, just to name a few. Also, what happens if your Soul wallet is hacked? This is a valid concern since identity theft can be taken to a new level through SBTs. So, In answer to this problem, a social recovery model is proposed in the SBT white paper. With social recovery, users can appoint a set of individuals or institutions as guardians, granting them the ability to access and change their wallet's private keys should it get compromised. However, they acknowledge that on top of further security risks, the social recovery model has its own drawbacks. For instance, guardians can pass away or simply fall out of touch with the user, which would mean frequent updates to the Guardian list might be needed. Now, when will Soulbound tokens be available? Glenn Weil, one of the co-authors who contributed to the original SBT white paper, believe there will be early SBT use cases by the end of 2022, but that has not been the case yet. That said, Binance announced its own SBT called Binance Account Bound as the first ever SBT issued on the BNB chain. It will serve as a digital verification tool for Binance users who have completed the exchange's KYC identification process and unlocks perks with partner projects. Also, Optimism, the Ethereum Layer 2 platform, also announced a while ago that they will be implementing SBTs in their novel dual house governance model, which is split into the token house and citizen house, whereby committed users can be granted citizenship represented by SBTs and possess special voting rights. All in all, if more projects adopt the idea, SBTs and Souls have the potential to be a strong foundation for a decentralized society, a society that would allow people to establish their own digital reputation and assess someone else's on the blockchain. That said, there are many creases to iron out before their full potential is unlocked. It'll be interesting to see how this concept will evolve in the coming years. Don't you agree? Well, give us your thoughts on SBTs down below. In the meantime, check out this video to discover other types of NFTs you probably didn't know about.